welcome. This is our first episode of another one off the shelf podcast where Rich and Dan, brothers Tranter, will discuss movies we pull off of our epic collection shelves randomly. So that is the goal of this podcast, to basically one of us each week will pick a movie we both own on our respective shelves. We will watch that movie during that week, think about it, come up with things to talk about around that movie, and then discuss it on the weekly podcast. So today, let me introduce Rich. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the
What's
podcast
up?
community.
That's all I got. Hi.
So Rich selected the first movie, and it was a doozy. A little time capsule from 2007, The Rage. So I honestly, you said the movie, and I was like, what movie is that? And then I went and I know why I own it, but I don't think I had ever watched it, to be honest. It didn't seem familiar at all. So I was like, The Rage, what the hell is that? And it's the way I have my shelves organized. I'll show it in later episodes, but I do it by label. And this one, since it is just kind of a mystery DVD, is in the back shelves that don't really have any
Oh, yeah,
order. They're just
for
alphabetical
sure.
by DVD or by Blu-ray. And so I was like, The Rage. Yes, got it. So yeah, good pick. Um, any initial thoughts? I mean, you picked it, so I'm curious where it came from in your mind as to why it was the first one
I
that
don't know.
popped
I
up.
kind of wanted to pick something. Obviously, I would like to do things that I haven't seen before. Um, get fresh with a lot of movies that we both might have. And a huge blind spot for me is the 2000s low budget weirdo. I really knew nothing about it other than I was vaguely familiar with Robert Kurtzman, vaguely familiar with Aaron Brown. Um, the cover looks terrible, but like good enough to like try. Um, but yeah, that
Right.
was my initial. Why not? Let's see if it's good or not.
Yeah, I like I said, it's very time capsule like especially the music, featuring music from Mushroom Head. Like I was laughing
Yeah.
when that scene was on because it's so like kind of had that like Resident Evil movie when
Yep.
that came out in the early 2000s, kind of the same like Marilyn Manson like
Totally.
back back music montage, and this one was, I mean, it was like a rave party with Mushroom Head playing at, which is, I'm
For
like,
sure.
when the hell would that
So
realistically
cheesy.
occur? And
Which I
they
looked
were
up. I'm
like,
not sorry. Did you cuz on your DVD does it give you any special features? What kind of did it give you any extra Mushroom Head content on there?
sorry, you're choppy really bad. I can't hear you. Say it
Can
again.
you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just
Hello?
really jittery, like your bandwidth is not working.
Oh no, that's no good. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but when you start talking a lot, it's like it gets jumbled up. Say what you
So
last said about Mushroom.
I don't know you have the DVD copy in front of you. What kind of special features are on it? Was there any extra Mushroom Head content
I
that you saw?
I think two Mushroom Head music videos are on there,
Yes, 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 yes. Did you
and
watch them?
that's, I did not. Well, that was what I was going to say next. I'm pretty sure you were a much bigger Mushroom Head fan than I was. They, to me, were like a tier three band
They
in
are.
terms of like you had your Mudvaynes and your Slipknots were like top in terms of like the horror mask spooky bands of that time, and then this was like, okay, another one that's doing the same thing. We've heard it, we've seen it.
For
They had
sure.
a couple, whatever that one song was that was their main single hit that I remember. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was never a big listener, and they just reminded me of how kind of cheesy they were, like now in
So
almost
cheesy.
20 years later. But yeah, it was. You can see, um, like overall, this movie, it's directed by Robert Kurtzman, who's co-founder of the KMB Effects Group. So he's an effects guy. There's a lot of effects guys, like the one I don't remember his name, but he's well known that did The Walking Dead, and a couple others that they start in effects, they get really good at effects, then they say, "Hey, I can make movies," and then they make movies, and it's like it's an effects movie, like it's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
but
yeah. For sure,
it's
for
an
sure.
excuse to have a big budget and do nothing but gore effects over and over, which is cool. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
It's I love
I
I love gore, I love effects, but you can obviously tell it was made by an effects man, not a storyteller.
Yeah, when I started watching it, I like I said, only vaguely familiar with Kurtzman as the name. Didn't know he directed anything. Didn't really. I mean, I don't ever pay attention to like the name
Right.
behind KNB Effects or whatever. So, yeah, I was like blown away by how much effects were in there. If
It
you're
was,
an
yeah.
effects guy, it's got literally everything you want in a movie.
It's
So
copious gore, goo, blood, guts, everything like nonstop. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, and I was looking him up because I think I sometimes confuse him and the other guy I can't think of, that
Greg
does The Walking Dead.
Nicotero or whatever.
That's him. That's him. Greg Nicotero. But what was I going to say? Totally lost it. Um,
The effects.
shit. No, I totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, but so the movie itself is like we were kind of saying. The DVD though made me long for that time a little bit, and I've talked about this with other people where the cover is just roundabout, back and front. There's pictures, there's little snippets of scenes, lots more detail on the surface of the cover, and then you get in, and this is the biggest thing that I feel is a loss with Blu-ray and 4K is they had the interactive menus that would be like, when you're waiting for the play
Hmm.
button and the select channels, it always had like a cool scene or like blood dripping down or something like really just stupid and fun. But
Yeah,
I long for those. So when I play old DVDs, I'm like, why don't they do that anymore?
for
Because
sure.
Blu-rays and 4Ks have way more space. You could probably make fucking way cooler ones. And
Yeah. I wonder whose job that was to even make
right,
that.
totally.
Because there's some great ones, there's some, half-assed ones, and then there's every time you get just like square, you know, placeholder ass
Right.
Blu-ray. Yeah, I hate them
It's
these days for sure.
it's a lost art, I think, because I think people used to put a lot of love and interactivity into it,
Hmm.
and so I found that to be cool.
One movie
Okay,
that it reminded me of, and I don't know, I'm only vaguely throwing it out there.
nice.
Do you
That's
remember
an
this
excellent
movie?
movie.
Because I guess it's 2000 when this one came out, but like in terms of the scientist and the
Absolutely,
sets in the Mad Scientist, and it felt like it had the exact same set, so it totally reminded me of that movie.
and I think the other real good connection to that is these were made for DVD movies. They were never really released in the theater. This one didn't
Right.
have a theatrical run. I highly doubt that one did. They were made quickly, cheaply, and then put into blockbuster shelves. So these two are very much peak blockbuster, where you just went and you saw
Right.
a cover and you just took it, and then it
Hmm.
was disposable trash that you enjoyed and then forgot and forgot about it. I've remembered what I was talking about. So Kurtzman, I looked him up a little bit. He worked on Evil Dead 2 as an effects. So that's fucking one of the
Right.
greatest effects movies
For
in
sure.
terms of creativity and gooiness. And From Dusk Till Dawn was another one
Oh,
that he was a big
totally.
part of.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this
For
guy
sure.
is one of the greats in terms of gushing blood and awful or awesome effects. So and the reason I own this, the only reason I bought it, is because of Aaron Brown.
Yeah,
So Misty
for sure.
Monday, is one of my all-time favorites, and I own everyone that you can own. I think that was released on DVD and Blu-ray and everything. And and this is a bit of a departure for her
Sure.
because I don't know, she's well known and well loved and still working today. Um, but there's a bit of a backstory where she was when she was Misty Monday, and they were, very, nudie flicks,
Yeah.
lots of skin, not much, substance in the stories. Um, and then she had somewhat of a falling out. With 2005, 2006 is when she stopped using Misty Monday as a name on her credits and started using her real name, which I think that is her real name.
Hmm.
Uh, so this is one of the first where she's, coming out as not Misty Monday, and now
Gotcha.
and I don't think she bears any skin in this one. I was a little saddened by that, but
Yeah, I was disappointed a little bit, to be
it's
honest.
pretty just purely scream queen, final girl type of a role where,
Totally.
uh,
And she does an awesome job. I'll be honest, because you know, it's the typical five people in an RV, um, running around screaming, whole bunch of
right,
ADR, whole bunch of, you gotta be out of breath, you gotta be running, I mean, she goes through the ringer in this thing. So
absolutely.
um, I think this is well deserved in her scream queen nature or whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, I think she did a good job to reinvent herself, to not just be a take my top off and,
Totally.
do silly things, because it was more comedy, honestly. Like, I mean, they were, meant to be sexy movies, uh, but a lot of them, at least the post 2000 ones, were all very comedic in nature, like goofy, silly spoof type. Like, there's a
Hmm.
million that I own that are
Spider Babe.
like, like fake American Idol and fake Blair Witch Project, and they were like doing like sexy spoofs of all these movies with mostly comedy in mind. So that's the only reason I have it on my shelf. And I honestly had yet to watch it until you brought it up. Um, no one else in the cast that I recognized, and no one of any.
Reggie Bannister.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Forgot Reggie. He's in it for like a
that
millisecond.
that
So
was so good.
he was just a. I bet like they were both at a con together, and they were
Yeah,
like, "We need
yeah,
a cameo from somebody that'll draw some attention." Yeah, I love Reggie Bannister. He's
so
an
good.
awesome individual in all the movies, Phantasm primarily, but he's shown up all throughout his career in little bits of, small
And they're
parts,
always
sometimes big
kind of
parts.
comedic, kind of,
Yeah,
like he knows tongue in cheek to be in a movie that is doesn't necessarily have to be serious, and he
right.
completely obliterates children in this one, which is I give
That
it
was
mad props for that.
that was so unexpected, and that's really one of the tonal pieces of this movie that I don't know necessarily say I struggled with it, but I wasn't sure where it was at tonally. And what I mean by that is you can have a gore, scary movie, horror movie that is very serious in nature, which it kind of started like that, where it's like
Yeah,
mad scientist trying to do, this weird stuff with this virus, and he's somewhat trying to like save the world, or, he thinks he's fixing things, but he's just making it worse. And so it tonally starts with that, where it's like, okay, this is really scary. It's not funny at all. Versus like a tone like trauma movies, where they are just the most gore and stuff you can do, but it's campy and it's cheesy and it's more funny than it is anything else.
yeah.
And so when this one did that with, and so yeah, spoilers. If you've never seen The Rage, you're going to hear all about the plot points from here on out. Um, Reggie is just like a random dad or an uncle, I think, taking out his niece and nephew fishing or something in the woods, and they come upon this issue of, rage infected vultures is the main vector of the disease and the zombification. And but yeah, it's and I looked because yeah, when you kill kids, I mean, and these are little kids, like so, it's kind of like you're you're really going there. It's
Yep.
not usually something that movies do,
Mhm.
and it was done so brutally. That's when I was like, all right, this is I have to laugh at this. This is too seriously like awful to be like I just have to move on from that, like
Yeah.
without seeing the comedic angle of it. But I looked at the IMDb cast, and those are Kurtzman's kids, I think. So that's
Oh,
how
that's hilarious. That's
that made
awesome.
it make more sense. It's like daddy's gonna make you, get all covered in goo and be part of this thing, and they're probably like, yay.
Fun little
So
field trip. That's
right,
awesome.
that made it okay, I guess. Like I was like, all right, I can swallow that and not like feel like this is because again, the and you and I have talked about this, like I struggle with a tonal shift like that is too harsh where I can't like the Evil Dead remake. I hated that movie because it was like so like just hateful in the way, and I guess if you're trying to be evil in the most evil way possible, you're going to kill dogs and you're going to kill kids and you're going to but it was just like I couldn't. I was like this just or Terrifier is kind of another one where it's just like
Yeah.
mean spirited for the
Mean
sake of
spirited.
being mean spirited,
Yeah.
and it's gory, yes, cool, but it's like that tone is like really hard to be like, I, who am I rooting for? What am I doing here? So I don't know why I struggle with that. I mean, being a dad and
Yep.
kids
That'll do it
is tough. Like The Road, I will never watch again or read again because
for
it's just
sure.
too fucking close to home. And so I guess that's it. But when it was apparent that they were just going for broke with the gore and making it as silly and colorful as possible, I was like, all right, now we're in it for that. I'm in that seat. I'm ready to
Yep.
ride for the rest.
Yeah. No one's
Uh,
safe because we have, you know, uh, decapitated heads that we could do with children. We could do it with anyone. They have so much, so much practical effects that they can do literally
totally.
anything. So no one's safe, and I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Um, yeah, I mean the movie itself,
It should
it
have
was
been
short.
called like Ragey Vultures or some
Yeah,
fucking.
it
It
should
should
have
have been
been
Vultures because there's literally 2 hours of vultures and a few minutes on each end of
the
the
lab,
film with mutants. Yeah,
with the mutant zombie people,
yeah.
and they were. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think back to it. They weren't really, I mean, kind of zombie-ish, but they were much more conscious, like zombies, than your typical like dead and then just reanimated to eat brains or flesh or whatever. Because
It's
they
got to
seem to
be
be
completely ripped from 28 Days Later. It's
absolutely
the exact same. Which I don't know what year that came out, but
2002, so it was fresh before this, I think, or
like the rage
around that time.
virus, something
Right.
that can be injected into you, and then you, I mean, other than turning into a complete mutant, but yeah, it felt like, which was a cool angle. I mean, silly as shit, but a cool angle to go with the birds because not only humans get affected, what if literally the whole world is after you? So yeah.
Yeah, that I brought more because there's two very exactly similar plots. This one is the OG, I think, in um, so it
Oh yeah, for
was
sure.
which one was this? Zombie Five of
Right.
the
4 or 5. Yeah.
this one is five, but this one definitely came before it, probably in the '80s, sometime '87, with the what's his name, the guy that was in basketball. I can't say his name.
Who?
The hell's his name? He's like, isn't he like blind in this one? Have you seen this one? Robert Vaughn.
I have it, but
Um,
I can't remember it very well.
it's amazing, the movie. I'm glad I own it on Blu-ray. I'm glad Vinegar Syndrome put it out, but it's terrible. But Robert
Mhm.
Vaughn, he's you remember him in basketball? I mean,
Oh,
he's in a million
he's the
other
guy
things.
in the house that they visit the house and he's blind the
He's
whole
got
time.
like
Yep, yep, yep,
he's
yep,
got
for
like
sure.
peanut butter over his eyes. He's supposed to be blind or something. And
Uh,
it's amazing how bad it is. Like Italian, the worst, but
mhm.
that's the plot of some source of zombie flesh, and all the birds eat it, and then all the birds start killing everybody. So I was like, all
Yes.
right, that 28 days later with the rage virus name, and then this one came after in 2010, but this one is the best in terms of
Haven't
as
seen it.
fucking stupid as you can get in terms of corniness and hilarious silly CGI scenes of birds just it's
Hmm,
like
hmm.
so funny. So those were the comparisons that instantly kind of were popping in my head as I was watching The Rage, and I was just like, all right, so it's we're not
And it
going for
felt like it
originality.
because they were. I give them props for going like they must have had a script and they were like I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah, maybe. And because some of the scenes, if depending on how low budget you are, you'd either scrap or like
Yeah.
when the RV explodes. I mean, there's so many different ways you could have done it other than the like absolutely abysmal CGI that they did. And then yeah, the birds overhead, and then the birds swooping in, and like the weird little action CGIs that they do the whole time. It was I don't know. It could have been left out, but it was. Thanks for
Yeah.
keeping it in.
No, I saw that in the credits where I mean you always I always kind of like take myself out of a movie and have a quick little like empathetic flashback where it said like screenplay written by. Like there was a guy
Nice.
that sat down at his computer and wrote
Hmm.
out this script,
Right.
and I was just like, "Great, man! You found your your place in life to make money off of like absolute abysmal
For
dialogue
sure.
and scenes and situations." So it's like I guess you got to know people, and they'll take
Totally.
your crap and turn it into a movie.
And to take that script and to be like, hey, we're gonna use green screen. We're gonna like I can only imagine how many hours of green screen they have with the
It's everywhere. It
indoors.
was all the driving was done in
Yeah.
it, like
Yeah.
and I was like, that looks so fucking fake. Like it
Yeah.
just drive the van and film it. Like
For
it's
sure.
way
I,
too
I can't imagine it would
expensive.
be that hard. So it
No,
probably comes down to like scheduling. Who knows?
maybe.
Do you have the info of what's the budget of this movie?
Yes, I think I do.
Because
It was cheap,
I don't really, other than Dead
two
Hate the
million.
Living, 2 million. I mean that's insane amount of money.
But it's direct DVD budget. That's what you're gonna get. And it was a
Yeah.
little short. I mean, it was like maybe 75 minutes, I think.
Hmm.
Um, no, 85 minutes. So so yeah, I mean, I felt like they put a lot. I mean, all that budget went to the effects and
For
maybe
sure, it had to have.
Aaron Brown's salary and Reggie's cameo. Um,
I would
but
love
yeah,
to
the
know
rest.
what they got paid. That would.
I know, right? I doubt it was much, but
Yeah, I'm sure I would be surprised either way. Or Reggie Bannister's like 1 million, and the rest went to the. That
yeah,
would be amazing.
I was sad. There's one that he did that I really liked called Cemetery Gates. Have you ever seen that one? It's
No.
probably around the same time, so 2000s, and same kind of concept where it's pretty bad. Story's not hugely important, but it's a lot of gore. Huge monster, like it's a lab with this like a mutant dog or bear or something like that, and it gets out and it just starts ripping everybody up. But he's like a full movie character, so it's not just a one scene pop up cameo. And yeah, he's so good. He's funny all the time, and he's just really great. And speaking of him, I haven't looked recently, but I think he's doing very poorly health wise. I think he's
Bummer.
kind of in like a hospice situation, which is really sad. So I know a few months back there was like some GoFundmes and things like that. So anybody fans of Reggie, if you want to check in, I know he was accepting letters and notes from fans and stuff. So he's always been a good guy in the horror community, and I think at all these cons, he seems to be one of those regulars, like that are
Definitely.
always at the con signing and talking with fans. So yeah, would have loved to see him more in this one. I was a bit bummed when he came and died, like almost in 3 minutes, but I'll take
It was a
whatever he
pretty
got.
good death though.
It was.
He
Oh
got
yeah,
destroyed by the RV or something
I bet
after he was.
he had a good time. I bet with this one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was super fun for him.
So looking at um,
So we got to talk about the final boss.
what was it
Do you remember
called?
the final boss was Gore? So I loved,
GOR, right?
yeah, I
GOR
loved
was the name.
the I don't know. Do you want to go through the actual plot points?
Yeah,
Because
you can do an overview as you recalled it.
I mean, I when I was watching it, I was blown away by the beginning. Not thinking I think most movies of this era would probably, bore me to tears, and it opens well, and then the
Yeah,
vultures. The one thing it does really well is it keeps you entertained the whole time because they're running away from uh, death and
yeah.
rage the entire movie, which is admirable for me. But yeah, once they get back to the mad scientist lab by happenstance, and um, so we got to talk about that main guy too, who's in Wishmaster.
Is it the same guy?
I think so.
Yeah,
Um,
Kurtzman directed Wishmaster, so that makes sense.
right. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out who he was because he has such a distinct chiseled chin
Yeah,
and a good what was he doing, like German-ish accent.
I think
Um,
Russian. I
oh,
think.
Russian accent, and then so when they get back to that, they go to the basement of that place, and it's full of mutants, full of little kiss the
I love that
monkey.
guy. He was my favorite one, and I loved
Yeah,
how they had to subtitle it because you couldn't. I'm
yeah,
like, I can understand it, but they subtitled everything he said. I was like,
for
that's
sure,
funny.
and I appreciate that. But yeah, when they get down there, I was blown away by Gore, who was a huge tied up Jesus pose
Right, kind
mutant.
of Frankenstein, like
Yeah,
huge constructed mutant.
and the subtle. I mean, he was only on screen for a few minutes. He should have been definitely
Right.
the main killer, the main thing at the end. Um, but I did love, and this is to your point with the tone, which is when Aaron gets her final stab into
Mm.
him. She stabs him in the ass, and there's like a subtle shit fucking spray that goes onto the TV screen. And yeah, I appreciate that very much. I love it was like yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Um, Variety of mutants. They had a nice little like kind of reminiscent of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you've got like unique, freaky characters that are seemingly all living together. Before this, they were all just doing their mutant things in the basement and eating corpses and stuff. So they had like a dynamic, and so you kind of see that when you kind of bring real people into the mix and they're getting attacked and tortured and taunted, and then you just see, you know, I don't know if the monkey kiss the monkey guy had a name. He was
yeah. I don't know.
kind of referred to, by the scientist guy. Um, you know, go back, go away, do your thing, do whatever you usually do. Kind of like dismissive of him, and that was a big part of the underlying plot. I thought because they're all failed experiments,
Right.
essentially where this scientist is continuously trying, new versions, new combinations of this rage virus to see if he can get whatever he's trying to get. And so they're all failures. And I'm guessing that's a little person that is doing it, not a child,
Hmm.
based on the vulgar things that he was saying throughout to Miss Brown. But they seem, I mean, he was probably the most vocal at seemingly not wanting to be like that and wanting to be turned back into his
Right.
earlier form. So that kind of adds a layer of sadness or empathy to you know to those creepy, freaky characters that they don't want to be like that. It's they're victims of this scientist who's just kind of let them to rot in their current mutant states, which you know kind of gives you that little bit of sympathy at the end, but then you've got to kill him anyway, as or else you're not going to get out. So
Yeah,
that
you're
was
giving it way more credit than it deserves, I think, because um, uh, up until that point, there's no backstory, no plot, you know, no reasoning as to why all of them are there with him. I guess it's assumed, but then you get that sort of like sepia backstory,
yeah, right,
that flashback, which was like, in my opinion, probably the worst part of the whole movie, um, because it was, you know, pedal to the metal the whole time. It was like they were running, they were going, there was guts, gore, and then we get this terrible sepia, and it's like seems like it goes back in like the 50s,
right,
but then it comes back into 2007 or something, and he hasn't aged a day or something. I don't know how it all planned out, but that completely stops the whole momentum of the intensity of the
right,
movie. But it does give you somewhat of the backstory as to who that scientist
yeah,
is and where it comes from.
and same. I mean, meant to feel like, oh, he's not such a bad guy. He's
Sure.
trying to save the. I still didn't connect the dots. I mean, there probably weren't any to connect, but like, what would a virus save? And or was that, maybe I missed it because it was just so, was he like saving a wife, or seemed like he was like longing for something that he lost, and was trying to do this thing. Or otherwise it was just so thin and weak that, or it was cancer, I think, right? He was trying to cure cancer. And so I guess that kind of makes sense that you're
Sure.
injecting viruses into, I mean, because they're doing that today, like in cancer research, I think, where they're introducing different bacteria and viruses to try to kill the cancer tumors. But it just didn't, like, he didn't seem he had a plan that made any sense. He was just
Yeah.
randomly doing the mad scientist thing of like, oh, try this, kidnap people, try this, like, because, and that's where it
Yeah.
opens. It was like two randos.
Hmm.
I think one of them, the wife was dead already, and then the husband was in the process of being, you know, chopped up and shot up with all this rage virus stuff. So
And
yeah, that was
frankly,
where
I
we,
don't need that backstory. I don't know. I
right,
can understand why one would do that, but like when you say that these movies go straight to DVD, um, just utilize what you got. I don't know.
right.
That storyline just did not need to be there for me, at least.
Yeah, it was probably just the screenwriter's attempt to pull it all together and make it,
Bring some
wrap
class to it or
around,
something.
I guess. But right, I mean, to your point, this is a blockbuster blind pick that you would have grabbed off the shelf and you put on in the background with a bunch of people. You're not paying attention to everything said or every plot, change here and there. Um, so yeah, it was a mega dose of pure terror, as the book says.
Yeah, I
um,
felt like the I don't know if this movie is on Tubi, but that cover really screams Tubi to me.
it has
In
to be.
in terms of that 2007 like graininess to it, and then the horrible Photoshop of the face in the vial. Um, it just
Oh yeah,
feels so of its time. And I
it's
might
yeah,
be
it
shitting on
does.
the movie, but I liked it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it took me a little coming around to, but yeah, if you want it for fun and gore, it's that. It's and yeah, and this is what I mean. Like there's like seven reviews on the back. Like they don't do
Mhm.
that anymore. Like you maybe get one,
Right.
but this one is chock full. Horror is fun again. Horror News Network. Not a single dull moment. Fangoria magazine. The most entertaining genre experience in years. RottenCotton.com.
Uh,
That's there must not have been much going on in 2007 for that to be
for sure.
said.
I remember looking, I mean, you don't need to compare this to a lot of stuff of that year, but this is the year that like No Country for Old Men comes out, and
Right.
I don't know, I think There Will Be Blood comes out. So
That was the same year. Yeah.
you got these huge movies, and then I don't know that there's a lot of horror that came out that year, but I don't know, it feels I give it. I mean, I'm a letterboxed boy, so I feel like it's classic 3.5 to me. Um,
Yeah, I would probably do the same. Maybe three, or
yeah,
I I,
sure,
I long for micro
hmm
ratings. Like 3.25 is exactly where I'd want it to be in
sure,
reality.
sure.
So
I could see that.
it's a 4.2 on IMDb. So that's better than your average trash disposable DVD straight to DVD movie. So
That's out of 10. 4.2 out
yeah,
of 10. That's rough.
so usually these are in the 2.5 to 3.5 is what I tend to see for you know
hmm And
throwaway effects
do
movies.
do we know if Robert Kurtzman ever directed anything else
After this,
or before?
yeah, it was Wishmaster was the
Oh,
first one
right,
he did,
right.
which was in '97.
Which was kind of a hit. I feel like I don't know really, but
Yeah, it's a cult classic, I think. Let me look. I can look. Um, he's a bald man from his picture. Um, his most recent one in the makeup department is called "Fuck My Son"
whoa.
with an exclamation mark. So I don't know what that means.
Damn.
Where is his directing?
I did come up with an alternate title if you want to hear it.
Yeah,
It's 28 Days Lamer.
that should be like your back of the box review
Yeah.
because these are all like pretty almost one liners. One of them just says "kick ass."
Nice.
Blood Type Online says "kick ass." So I'm like, perfect. Okay, yeah, he did The Demolitionist in '95. I guess that predated Wishmaster. Don't even know what the hell that is, if it's horror or
Never
not.
heard of that.
Then it was Wishmaster, then this one, The Rage. Then in the same year, Buried Alive, which I might actually have because it looks like it's
Nice.
another one of the Fangoria type,
Nice.
you know, the box is branded by Fangoria. And then his last directing effort was in 2010 with Deadly Impact, which looks like an action flick with Sean Patrick Flannery, Joe Pantoliano. Never heard of that one.
Never heard
5.2
of
on
most of
IMDb,
those.
so it can't be too terrible. So yeah, I guess he tried horror, he tried action, and then he said, "Peace out, back to makeup and effects."
Let's just be a Kurtzman podcast and go through all the Kurtzman.
Cover all those, yeah. That would be funny. So, what should we do next? Should I pick, or do you have one in mind?
I actually had nothing in mind. It's your turn. You threw this to me. I feel like I picked a goodie, so it's your turn to
Yeah,
pick a goodie.
it was a good one because I hadn't seen it. And I owned it, and it had Aaron Brown in it. So let's see what else. And that's going to be the trick is finding. I mean, we both have pretty enormous collections, but finding one we both have at the same time.
If you go on the line of Saturn's core, I have a
Yeah,
bunch of them, but that I haven't seen, and I'm sure
same.
that we're both in that boat.
Let me pick a few then from there. Okay, let's see if you have any of these. I think I've seen some of these a long time ago. So, Flesh Freaks,
Uh,
do you have that one?
I don't think I have that one,
Bummer.
just because I missed out on the amazing
The
cover, and
cover.
I was like,
The
I'm never
cover
gonna
was,
buy it now.
and this one I missed the cover. Bone Sickness.
Oh hell yeah, I have that right here.
Okay, maybe we'll do that one. Or I think this is the same director as Bone Sickness. At Dawn They
Well,
Sleep.
yep, I have that as well. Let's do that. Either one.
Um, let's do Bone Sickness. That will follow the Rage because it's very gore focused. Cool. Yeah, I was so fucking pissed I didn't get the slip for Bone Sickness. Like some of these Saturn cores just go like the
Immediately.
weekend they're announced, they're gone, and I'm like, who the
Yeah,
hell is
it
buying it that fast?
yeah, it seems like Agfa is the same deal. I don't
Right.
think you can as soon as it gets up on that pre-order, you're fighting a bunch of, secondhand stores that are
I think
trying
it's the
to
stores
scrap
that
it
do
up.
it right. Like
Hmm.
they must have back channel access to buy like 50 copies, like, and then each of those does that, and then it just depletes half the stock before a single individual buys one. Because I have had luck
Which
with that in the past, where if I don't get it from Vinegar Syndrome partner labels, I
mhm,
can just go to Orbit
Orbit.
DVD
Yeah,
or
sure.
somebody that bought them all up and grab it there for almost the same price. So, all right, Bone Sickness it is. Any closing remarks on the Rage?
Um, if you haven't seen The Rage, I think there's a lot of stuff that'll uh, you know, make you, I don't know, it's it's too much CGI um and quite silly, but there's a certain type of horror fan that I think will totally love it. Um just in terms of excitement, gore, if that's your type of thing, I think it's definitely worth a shot. That's my final.
Yeah, I would completely agree. It's very similar to a lot of other movies, a lot of other plot points. The RV full of kids in the woods, like Cabin in the Woods, and countless other ones in that 2000 time frame. And then they get killed. I mean, and that's the funny thing with some of these movies is like they introduce the characters, and you start to kind of because there's I know I'm going back into the plot and we're
Hmm.
trying to wrap it up, but they try to connect you with the characters at the rave scene. Like there's like a love triangle kind of spat and all this
Hmm.
stuff about that's my boyfriend and we're doing a threesome and getting all pissy with each other as they're driving in the RV and getting into little cat fights. So they do all that um, to make you feel connected, so that when they get eaten by mutant vultures, you're going to be like, oh, not that one. I like that one. But but this one is so like, all right, they established that we know these characters, we know how they stand in their little internal friend hierarchy, and then they're like all instantly killed. Like it's
Yep,
like
pretty
dominoes.
quickly.
As soon as the shit hits the fan, it's like five becomes two to one. Like
Right,
it's like
right, right.
so. I don't know if that was probably a scheduling. Honestly, like
Yeah,
they only
I'm
have these
sure.
people for a day, and they
For sure.
they burned all their gore, and then they has all right, we're done. We don't have anything else for you. But I
So
found that to be a little comedic because usually
who was
it's
your
more.
favorite kill off? Did you
I
have a
can't even
favorite kill
remember.
off?
Not real. I can't remember the specifics of.
One of the guys gets taken out of the bus, Dunzo. Um, one of the girls falls into that leech pond.
That was pretty fucking gross. Yeah, I
That
would
was a
say
pretty
that
good
one
one.
was nasty.
Mu- Mutant leeches and then vultures on top of her. And then shit, I can't remember them all either. I feel like those are Reggie killing the kids.
That was the most vibrant gore that I recall from the whole thing. So I was just like eyes wide, like holy shit, like they're not pulling any punches for that.
And then Aaron
Um,
Brown's final uh when she went total haywire on, I think it was the little person character, and she was just like saying as much vulgarity as she could. I feel like those are my top three.
yeah, there was definitely a good collection of deaths from the barely known characters. But yeah, so yeah, check it out if you want to take a little time travel trip to 2007 and remember how Mushroom Head sounded um, in the context of a rave. I was just like who fucking thought that this was?
For
I mean,
sure.
it reminded me of Insane Clown Posse, like because they
Oh
do their gatherings in the like those kind of raves. So I was kind of
yeah,
wondering, are they trying to do like a Juggalo analog with Mushroom Head in a rave? Because I was like, I don't
I
remember
mean
Mushroom Head being ravey like in the back in the day. Maybe
it
they
did
were.
it did feel like they probably had access to Mushroom Head, but they wanted a rave situation in the script.
That
and
sounds more plausible. Yeah.
and I do think I'm sure there's a fair amount of Mushroom Head fans that are also ICP fans because
I would bet that crossover is huge.
yeah. But as a you know child of new metal, fuck yeah, Mushroom Head, fucking
Yeah,
rock on.
I have not put on a Mushroom Head song in a very long time, so it was a
It's
bit of a
bad
throwback for me. Um, Definitely not one that I revisit like System of a Down or
for
some of
sure.
the more ones that have aged and continued on. I don't even know if they're still together. Honestly, I've never heard a single thing about them till
Actually, don't
this
know.
movie came on. I was like, all right, I remember them.
Yeah, and I would love a sequel. I mean, not a sequel, a prequel to the Kiss the Monkey guy,
Yeah,
and the characters as they arrive, or as the
he had
however
the
they turned into the mutants.
he had the best dialogue. I mean, he had so many like. I mean, they were very vulgar. I think one of them was, sick of screwing corpses. I want a warm cooch was like the one I was just like, holy fuck. Like,
I don't remember that, but that's awesome.
but you had to read the subtitles maybe because it was, I don't know why he was, I mean, probably because he was so covered in effects. And that's another funny thing that you kind of notice with movies that have so much gore effects and makeup effects is their heads like just fucking increase in size because they
Sure.
probably have so many different layers of things underneath the mask that do
Yeah,
like
yeah.
blood and gooey bubble skin things. So like the mad scientist and like the gore monster at the end, and even the little person kiss the monkey guy. And that's why you can't understand them because they've got like all
Yeah.
this shit on their face and
Silicone
it's
in
like
front of
they
their
can't open their mouth or move their tongue. And so that was kind of, I'm always thinking of that stuff like, why do we need subtitles? Oh, because he can't speak because he's garbled in mask makeup and things hanging over his face and stuff. But yeah, I just like because the main mad scientist, his head when he stands next to a normal person is like it's like a fucking balloon head. It's just like it doesn't
Yeah.
look even. I mean, I guess he's supposed to be a mutant, but it just still on the torso. It's like the head is just somebody blew a balloon up and expanded the.
I kind of remember Wishmaster's head being rather large
Maybe it's
too.
just the
So
way he does heads. He puts too much shit on. Like,
yeah,
I think you should leave. There's too much shit on me.
totally. Yeah, that would
All right,
be.
cool.
I would love to have been on set to see how scrappy things were, and to see how quickly they did it. Do you have any information on how many days
No,
or
I don't think so. There's
because
commentary. There's behind the scenes stills gallery, so that might show you like, you know, here we are starting. Here's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
FX stills gallery, and there's a making of. Yeah, I can
for
check that
sure,
out and report back at another
definitely.
episode.
And a
If
commentary from Kurtzman, or
yeah, him and the writer, I think. Yeah, writer John Bisson and director Robert Kurtzman
cool.
commentary.
I would like to check that out. I only recently became a commentary guy because of my obsession with the making of, you know.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like I've bought movies that have commentaries, like Fred Olen Ray or people like that I'm really
Yeah, sure.
enamored with, and I want to hear all of their cool stories back in
Mhm.
the day of making a movie. But I've it's hard to disconnect it. So like you have to watch the movie without commentary first. At least this is the way I do it. To watch it cleanly, purely, and then you come back to it a second time, turn the commentary on, and it's a much more. I mean, it's kind of like a podcast where you're like
Mhm.
you're lightly watching it, but you're more focused on the commentary, and then you're just picking up new things you didn't catch before. So I don't do it. The point I'm making is I don't do it very often because I have too many fucking movies and I don't have
Yeah, for
time
sure.
to
To
watch them
rewatch
all
everything.
twice,
Yeah.
let
Mhm.
alone once. I haven't watched everything once yet. So so maybe as I get older and older and I start making dents in the have not watched yet piles, I will start rewatching with commentary. But yeah, I would say this one would be a cool one coming from the standpoint of the effects makers. Like maybe if they tell you how we did this one or how we did
Yeah,
that one,
yeah.
that stuff is always interesting. And for your point, being a filmmaker, teach me how you do all that so I can
Totally.
try similar kind of things. So cool.
For sure. And I think this is probably pretty cheap. You can find it. I'm sure you
Oh,
found it on eBay
pretty
pretty
sure
damn
it was
cheap.
an eBay under $10
Yeah.
used DVD. So
So,
I would
I
say
mean, that's worth it enough in my eyes.
absolutely, definitely worth rolling the dice for something that cheap. Um, cool. I think
Cool.
that's all I got. So I think we can wrap it up. We will prepare Bone Sickness for next week. And what's this guy's name? Brian Paulin.
Brian
He's an
Paulin.
awesome director. Again, effects guy slash director. But his effects, I mean, I don't know if you've followed him at all. There it is.
On Instagram.
Yeah, he's always showing the gore effects as he's building them, like in
Yeah, he's
working on this, and they're so gnarly and
what is the
intricate.
Abysmal Purgatory is the
Yeah,
one he
I got that one.
keeps. Oh, is it
Yeah,
out?
I
Shit. Interesting.
maybe not.
Oh, okay.
I have a section of his movies, so
Nice.
I have enough of them. Maybe no, maybe that one is yet to come out. There's one with a similar title, I think.
I think I've only seen one of his movies, which was shit. Uh, shout them out. What are they?
Let me pull them up.
Because the one that I saw is not one that I own.
This is a very early one. Morbid Tales is kind of an anthology. Um, Septic was the one I
Right.
was thinking of. This one is
I
very gooey.
nice. I just bought it, but I haven't watched it yet. Oh, Cryptic Plasm.
That's this one. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I was blown away in terms of like shot on video, super low budget, but looks fantastic.
Let me get another one because it's kind of a funny one.
Oh, I can already tell which one you're bringing. Before you
I
bring it,
think
let me guess.
I think it's this one. Go ahead.
Mummy Raider?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So this is now we're wrapping it up for full circle. This is Misty Monday in a very fun, and this is kind of a crossover because you get the sexy, nudie stuff of Seduction Cinema, who are the people that she used to work with and put out movies. But then you get Brian Pollan directing it, so you get some pretty, gnarly monster things going on. So it was kind of like, I think it's like so short though, if I remember it. It's like it's almost a short. I don't think it tells me the runtime,
Yeah,
but I
I'm on
feel
it
like
now.
it's like
45
barely an hour.
minutes for
Yeah,
sure.
it's super quick. Like they just did what they could in a very short time. All right, cool, awesome stuff. So Bone Sickness, Brian Pollan next week. All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining me
Thanks.
and check in with us next week. Take care.
Hell yeah. Peace out.